Welcome back to the Soul Star podcast with Mandy and Allison from Soul Star Energy Collective. We are intuitives and teachers and healers, and we just really love to come into this space weekly to share all about the things that we know and we've experienced in hopes that it'll light or spark a little bit of interest in you yourself onto this beautiful spiritual awakening journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
saw
was
your
different.
eyes like going back and forth. What
What do I
do we do?
say?
Who are we? What
But we
do we
do
do again?
we share it differently every single time.
Yeah, I like it. We riff it.
We are riffers.
Yeah, we're definitely riffers.
So we are gonna chat today about the energy of your business, like the spirit of your business, the energy of your business, and connecting to it, and how understanding your business energetically and it can be so impactful and beneficial in
Yeah.
your success.
So like spirituality and entrepreneurship, how that kind of
Ties.
ties together and how you can use it and up level,
Yeah.
I guess,
We
right?
should share. Do you have any stories to share before we get into it?
Let me think about that.
Well, we went to a vendor event on the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
And we have
It
to
was
shout out
so
to
good.
Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because we met a podcast listener at the vendor event and she didn't know we were going to be there. And it was really cute.
Saw
She
our
was
sign
saw our
with our
sign and then,
podcast.
yeah, looked at us and then looked at the
Looked
sign.
at the sign.
I was like,
Is
I listened to you.
Yeah, I know. That was so amazing.
It was really nice to meet you in person,
oh,
Chelsea.
it sure was. Yeah. No,
Mhm.
yeah, the vendor event, we're loving this. Like we're
Yeah.
loving, this, our business has been online the whole time and will continue to be very online based because we do have clients internationally. So that's, just how that works. But in going into the community and kind of like, it's been really neat, like just to be connecting with people and, like every vendor event we've gone to so far this year, like we went from like doing one last year to we're on to our third one.
I think our fourth, isn't this our fourth?
Well, fourth, but I was sick, so it didn't show up to the one. But I'm like, it was like our fourth since September.
Yeah.
So
good.
like we've just come back. But we've been meeting amazing other vendors and people in the community within the spiritual community, which has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we love all of those connections. And then obviously like just connecting with the community and having these aligned conversations. And Mandy actually, stepped out of her comfort zone because we haven't been at these vendor events to offer readings because we do our readings differently. Or we have, and where we've, do kind of like a deep connection prior to meeting with the client. So yeah, you stepped out of your comfort and we're like, I'm just gonna do it. And like, did readings on the spot. And we had like a makeshift sign, handwritten. And like, hey, like it totally was like last minute idea. And I didn't know like if we would get people coming or not.
Mm-hmm.
And you had 8 readings.
I did. And then they were 20-minute readings and it was so much fun. I really enjoyed connecting that way and pushing myself to be vulnerable because like Ali said, we do our readings, differently. We usually do our readings before we meet you because we really find that we can just access so much more depth and understand some of the messages when we take our time to do that. Mm-hmm. And then we usually will meet on Zoom to present the reading. And, of course, we're open and we can connect on the spot when we're in the reading and to answer questions and all, or more insight or whatever.
Yeah. More clarification.
Kind of, yeah. But we haven't done we haven't done it where we meet on Zoom and then I'm going into your energy in that moment to read, to receive. So it was a little bit terrifying.
Yep.
But it was
in person, like it was all of the terror. And you're in a room full of energy and people, and you think as a channel, because really you're opening up your channel. we worry about like cross contamination, like
Yeah. Well,
with the energy getting crossed over. And
yeah. And I was worried about being distracted by the noise and people
yeah,
talking around me. And to my surprise, I wasn't. I think there was only maybe two or three times where I was like distracted by somebody talking to you at the booth, and
oh
it was
yeah.
like louder than normal for whatever reason. So it was
Oh yeah,
sticking
that would
out.
be because I was sitting right like literally it was my butt was like at the table. I told Mandy after I felt like a bouncer. Because it felt like, obviously I had to be at the table and man the table, and we have things that we sell, have conversations, all the things that we do when
Yeah.
that we usually do at an event.
Connecting.
Yeah, we're connecting with people. That's what we usually do. But because we tried it differently this time, and I was the only one there to do that type of connecting. But I also kind of felt like a bouncer because we were just so on top of each other that it was kind of like, come through me and then you can get to her. And or they'd be like, are you doing a reading? And I'm like, nope. I'm like, you see the table, it's already occupied.
There's not two tables.
There's not two tables. And so like I would be sitting there when I wasn't talking to somebody and eavesdropping and smiling, and there was somebody had gotten emotional, and I was taking everything in me not to turn around and hold her hand. I'm like, oh my God. Like Mandy and I like to joke, like, cause I, the healing obviously has been my thing. Like I'm that's part of my purpose is part of the like emotional healing, that type of stuff, not the physical healing. And so like usually that's where I kind of step into, and so that's just my innate. And I'm like, fuck, I had to be like, no, just stare forward. And then the moment it finished and I got the opportunity to turn around, my hands were on her.
My hands were, and you're like, you need to let the emotions out.
I was like, God, I'm sitting here going like, hold it back, Allison. And then I'm like, got the opportunity. And then I'm like rubbing her arm, you got to let it out. You just got like, I've been waiting.
You got to process it.
Waiting for you. I know. So it was so amazing. You did amazing. I was so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And even your like coughing fits, it was totally fine. That was embarrassing.
And you know what's interesting?
Thing.
So if you don't know, let me share with you now. I have a throat chakra issue, and I know it's this lifetime I'm trying to clear it. But it is past life stuff too. And it's very prominent, and it shows up in my life daily. And because I always have to clear my throat, and I always get a sore throat, and I just was sick with a chest and cold, and so I have been coughing, but my cold is gone. But I was doing so much talking on Saturday that it was starting to act up, and then somebody was burning incense, and so it was making my throat really dry. So I was getting like this stupid tickle in my tonsil that I just couldn't scratch.
You couldn't scratch. Like it was like not. I felt so bad because you couldn't do anything to stop it.
I was like drinking water didn't help, and somebody offered me lozenges, and
I opened up the door to try to get the air, and then our bloody sign fell down. Oh God!
It is all in the middle of a reading, but. But that is what, and then after, actually, because I did so much talking on Saturday, my throat was so sore. Like it felt injured. It felt injured. My tonsils were swollen, and it was just achy. And
but also that can definitely be energy sickness. So we've talked about this, like when you are surrounded by energy and using your energy, right? So we were there from
10 to 5,
and you were doing reading. So even though I don't feel like we get energy sicknesses as much anymore because we've built up that tolerance.
It was a lot.
That was new for you, right? Yeah. You haven't done that many hours of having your channel open and being connected. So it makes sense that by the end you're like, oh shit, like my glands were hurting, and like you start to think you're getting sick, and then it's like, no, it's energy sickness. So
and so obviously I did what I need to do to clear my energy, and we did all the things beforehand. Like I obviously protected my
Yeah.
energy and our space and like all that sort of stuff. And then when after the day, when I was laying in bed and I was like, God, it's not going away, I did like a full energetic cleanse,
Mm.
focused on my throat, obviously. And then the next day I was fine.
See, yeah, it's amazing.
I know.
Amazing. So that's our story for the week.
Yeah.
Now on to the topic.
The topic at hand.
The topic at hand. This kind of came up because we were invited on a podcast. And this was kind of like, part of the conversation. And we were like, wait a minute. Have we talked about this? Before, we take for granted, like, I don't know, we just take for granted some of the stuff, I guess, that we know. And we're just, I don't know, I just don't even think about it. And then when you start talking about it with somebody and you're like, wait a minute, this is pretty interesting and amazing. Like, why aren't we talking about this? We're just kind of like, oh yeah, it just is what it is. So that's what we are doing.
Yeah.
We're talking about it.
So we were talking about the energy of a business. So as we all know, and if you don't know, let me tell you now, because I don't know where everybody's at. This could be the first episode they're listening to, but everything is energy. We're energy, and our house has an energy. You can even think of it as a vibe. Everything has a vibe, right?
Yeah. Are we vibing?
Yeah. And if you think about it, like energy is, or what is it called? Like scientists prove it. The energy is proven by physicists specifically. Yes. And you've got like all these little atoms that are vibrating at a certain frequency, and that frequency can be measured, and that is the energy, right? So we're an energy. Our business has its own energy, but a lot of us think of our business as a part of ourselves, right? But it is its separate energy. So you can actually go into the energy of your business and read it, like receive from it, receive guidance and insight on how it wants to move forward. And this can be a skill that you can develop when you learn how to read energy. It's just so fascinating and something that we practice all the time for our business.
Yeah, absolutely. We've learned so much from connecting to the energy of our business. We learned about the that it being separate from us, and even our business wanting to separate from us in that sense. So, we will go into the Akashic records and we will pull forward the energy of our business. It's kind of like I guess it doesn't matter if it's in the Akashic records or it's just a space that we've set up that,
we meet.
This is where we meet. We have our guides, and then we call for the energy. And just to see what Soul Star is wanting. And this one time when we went in there, it was very clear that Soul Star was separating from us. So and it was kind of like, what? And it was like, set me free. Take your grubby hands off of me. It wasn't like,
you're stifling me.
You're stifling me. And we're like, get over here. You're our baby. And so it was kind of like this, we're learning, we know that was, we didn't know we were stifling the business. We didn't know we were being like all up in its business. And so, that was something that we were like, oh man, of course it makes sense, because we know that a business is its own entity, its own energy. And so we needed to, separate ourselves from it. Yes. Are we the business? Yes. Are we, the ones kind of like, whatever happens with the business is coming from us, for sure. But it's recognizing that there is its own entity, and that own consciousness in that sense,
and it has its own purpose.
Yeah, its own purpose. And so we owe it to connect to that energy to understand where it's going, because we are co-creating with it.
Yeah. And when we say we needed to separate from it, it was more so like we needed to release cords that we were
energetically separated.
Energetically. Because we all have our own healing to do, and Alli has working on different healing than I'm working on. And if we're infusing our business with the things that we're working on, like our shadows and all that sort of stuff, then it is confusing the business, and it's maybe holding it back a little bit. And there's always going to be a little part of that. So we're very mindful now moving forward when we're trying to make a decision in our business of, first of all, receiving it, trusting it, and then trying to sort out if there's any hesitation on either part of ours, whether or not that is hesitation from us and from our own programming and, limiting beliefs and all that sort of stuff, or if that is something other than that. So
like our intuition, right? Yeah. So, we obviously as business owners lead or try to lead by listening to our intuition and what our body is telling us. And there's definitely absolutely been times that, something has come across and, one of us or both of us have, viscerally felt it, like, and this is where we've really had to like lean into, if it's not a hell yes, then we need to pause and understand why it's not.
Yeah.
Because then it's a no. And we've learned, the hard way by not listening to our intuition and being like, oh, that's the ego, right? That's with anything with your intuition. The moment you get your kind of like answer, but then you start to be like, no, like you're being silly. What? You should do this. The logical mind comes in and you try to convince yourself. And then in retrospect, you're like, oh shit, that was my intuition. Damn it. Damn you. Well, and then even like, us recognizing, like, is it our intuition? Is it a shadow? Is it a limiting belief coming forward? We both obviously have been made aware through this process of limiting beliefs that we work on and continue to be made aware. And it, highlights it for us, to kind of be like, yeah, that limiting belief has popped up again. And like, that's, we take that to work on it individually, but it's not infusing into the energy of the business. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think connecting to the energy of your business and being able to see it for its own entity and its own energy also gives you a little bit of permission to not take things so personally. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That's hard, man. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard because I can hear people saying, but I am my business. Like, it's my baby. Like, I birthed it. I created it. Without me, there's no business, and so I totally, we get that. Right. And, if we get like a negative comment on like social media or something like that, it definitely is like, ugh. God, it hurts, right? Like it's hard not to take it personally.
Yeah. Yes, it is definitely.
It's definitely because hard. It is your baby, right? Yeah. Like that's the thing.
But coming back to like your business has its own purposes and its own mission, and we're just the stewards of what that business wants to create and what that business wants to do and how it wants to do that. So being able to differentiate and be able to like separate yourself from being so like energetically infused within the business. So it can be quite a challenge to separate the two, but then when you get there and you understand it from that observation perspective, it can make things a lot easier to just kind of even just to surrender into what's happening within the business. And one of the things that Alli and I actually like to do is connect to the chakras within the business, because as you know, everything, every energy has a chakra system, right? In our soul activating journey, we teach people how to read the energy of chakras because it's so impactful when you're trying to understand anything that has an energy. So for a business owner, understanding how to receive messages and insight from each of the chakras will give you insight as to what areas of your business you need to focus on, and what areas of your business are doing really well. So for example, the throat chakra is connected to your communication. So in a business, that would be marketing, it would be authenticity, like all that sort of stuff. Say the root chakra is all connected to safety, security, finances. So if you're in the energy of your business and you're reading the root chakra and you're receiving this really abundant energy, and you're just, everything feels like it's running smoothly and tickety boo, you're like, cool. Most likely you're experiencing some, some abundance, financial abundance within your business. But if you're reading the energy of your root chakra of the business and you're feeling like there's struggles or there's anxiety or there's fear or something like that, then this is, automatically that this is where you need to focus on building a foundation or creating some sort of structures or systems so that you can create that flow of income that you're looking for and aligning with the clients that you need. Alli and I did this for ourselves last year, and the root chakra was something that we needed to focus on. We really needed to come all the way back and really strengthen and focus on the foundations and the systems within our business to make sure that we could sustain growth and make sure that nothing collapsed or,
we're building on it.
Yeah, we're building.
We're building on it. Yeah. The sacral chakra, that's where I like to hang out in our business.
That's Alli's
forte.
It's her power center.
It's my power center, both personally and the business. Like personally, sensuality.
I would say our sacral chakra of the business is actually quite strong.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's kind of like pompous. Like, yeah, I think so because I'm there. No.
Well, I help in it's all about joy, creativity.
Yeah. Joy, creativity. Like having that creative side and bringing the light, I guess like that's what it kind of feels like. So like
the divine feminine,
so that shows up in, like the marketing, like so even though like the throat chakra is the communication, how you communicate, marketing is also visually, right? So that's a huge component of any business. The aesthetic of it, so whether that's, your logo to, what's your kind of like scheme and how you want it to feel. When you're on social media and all of that stuff. And so, that part, so some people like, if it's like, man, I hate that part, and I struggle with that part, it might be constricted and just kind of like murky, or maybe, I could see like some business owners, like the priority is over somewhere else, and that's not a priority. And so it's abandoned in that sense. And that the business is kind of like, well, I kind of need a little bit of oomph happening here. And so, it's really kind of fascinating what you can learn when reading that. And you and I have done business readings. We've done readings for people's businesses, and it's so in that sense too, because we've done these readings and it's been dead on in the sense of like, if we've brought up the communication, they're like, yeah, we're struggling with that. Yep. And, like understanding that. And so it's pretty fascinating to really, when you can understand that. And as a business owner, if you can read your own, the chakras of your own business, like you're constantly tapping in and in a sense, like tweaking it and fine tuning it. And like, that's a superpower.
Absolutely. This is like okay. I didn't know how to articulate this when we were speaking on the other podcast.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm going to see if I can try to articulate it now, but it is kind of like having a secret skill, like a secret weapon as a business owner that 99% of business owners don't have. So when you're looking at your competition
because I feel like,
because we're going to teach you all.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
But when you're looking at your competition, like, so let's just say you're a business owner who, I don't know, owns a restaurant, for example. Let's say a cafe, and there's like a cafe on every corner. What makes your business different than all the other businesses around you, right? Well, we don't know yet because you haven't read the energy of your business, but you can receive messages and guidance and insight and inspiration from the spirit of you, like from the energy of your business, from your business spirit guide and all that sort of stuff, so that you can differentiate and be different and up level in ways that the other business owners cannot do.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of hearing like the question of like, oh, so if I can read my business, that means I can read other people's businesses?
Well, that's ethical.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, yeah, it's, when we're working with spirit energy, there is a ethical component to it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you? Absolutely. You could. But that's something obviously we talk about and teach, is the ethical side of it, of
Mm-hmm.
gaining permission, understanding the motive. I think when somebody's kind of like, man, I just don't know, like, if I don't know, like, if I should or shouldn't, like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, understanding what is the purpose of it. And if it's benefiting you and only you, then that kind of lays that out ethically, that
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is not what you should do in that sense. So just focusing on your own business. Now I've done it where, say, I think it was my sister, she was looking at joining. She had two companies that she wanted to join. And so she was like, I just don't know what to do. Like, can you help give me guidance? And so intuitively, for her, I felt into what each path would look like for
Mm-hmm.
each business. So I wasn't reading the business per
Mm-hmm.
se, because I wasn't in there like, oh man, like they're really like they're on brink of bankruptcy. Like I'm not like going in and like crossing that line. I was looking into it to be like, okay, if she chose this route, what would this look and feel like? And if
Mm-hmm.
she chose this route, what would this look and feel like? And one of them was like a more boutique, and one of them was a big corporation. And so I definitely could pick up on like, okay, like the support kind of being like a number in a, all of those type of things. But
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going in and, finding out personal things about the business that I really shouldn't know. Yeah.
No.
So I hope that, like, right, like that makes sense in that sense, right? Like
Oh yeah.
use it
Yeah.
to
Well, use it to
to
benefit yourself in
yeah,
an aligned and divine way.
yeah.
And I think that anybody who might be listening to this podcast and interested in learning to read the energy of their business, I hope that they wouldn't be in the energy to be sneaky like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like nosy pokers.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing over there? What are you
But
doing?
there's questions that you could ask though with the energy of your own business and be like, what can I do to
Yeah.
what can I do to make sure that I stand out from my competitors, or what are different things that you'd like me to focus on so that we, align with the right clientele, all that sort of stuff. So making sure the focus is just on you and your own business,
Yeah.
then you're always going to be above the line there.
Well, that's like with anything. How many times,
Mm-hmm.
like, when you like, let's just say you go to your boss and you're like, Jane over there is doing this, and like this person's doing this. And then what do you get told? Focus on yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. And then you're like, oh, that's the worst. I don't want to. So that's the same
Yeah.
concept, right?
Yeah, yeah. The other thing that you can do when you start working with the energy of your business intentionally, though, is cleansing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is important.
Very important because there's
Protecting and cleansing.
yes, yes, protecting and cleansing, and again, like you can cleanse chakras, you can cleanse the energy overall, and why would we? So I'm just like saying cleanse, whatever. But then
Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse,
I
cleanse.
see somebody, I can hear somebody being like, why would you want to cleanse the energy of your business? But we've talked about entities and darker or heavier, denser energies that can kind of hang out. So let's just say you own a business with a physical location, so it's a retail space or whatever. You have people coming in your door all the time. People have their own frequency and are carrying energy around on them, and if they just dumped a load of energy in your space
They
and
just
they're
dumped a
leaving
load of shit in your space.
well, you get the angry
just took a big dump.
You get the angry client who's venting at you, or the angry client who's yelling at your staff for some silly, like those are the people that are, in a lower frequency and they're leaving an imprint in your space.
Yeah.
So
It's
making,
like a cloud. Like I like somebody had explained it like that. And And I was like, God, that makes so much sense. It's like a cloud of energy, invisible energy. And like, that just kind of is like, if when emotions are high, that's when we tend to like leave an imprint, an energetic imprint. And so if you just kind of imagine it as like this cloud of energy, just like hanging out there, and people are walking in and out of it and picking up on that feeling that it left, it's like bringing a density to that space. And if you have had multiple, whether it's outbursts, hopefully not, because something's going on if you have multiple outbursts in one day, but it also can be just somebody is struggling and just got broke up with their boyfriend, and they came in and their energy, like all of these energies are like just like collecting and creating a vibe.
And so cleansing that physical space can be super beneficial, so that when people walk into your space, they feel welcomed, and it feels like when you walk into a room and there's tension, or you can feel that people are energetically sensitive, they just don't know it. So cleansing your physical space is really important, but even cleansing and clearing the energy of your business. So we always see it kind of like an orb of light, and when you learn how to pull energy forward, and let's just say you pull the energy forward of your business and there's a bit of like gray, or it feels a little bit heavy, there's something that needs to be cleared in there. But then if you're doing it regularly, you pull forward the energy of your business and it's like a white orb of light, there's not much that you need to clear, because it's already feeling really bright and aligned and light and all that sort of stuff. But there's a sense of like give and take with your business. Do you know what I mean? Like you are giving and you are receiving. So you making sure that you're giving to your business as much as you are receiving, giving gratitude, even like the time that we put in, of course, is giving, and the effort that we're making to create or to align or whatever, but also spending that time to connect to your business is giving to your business. And that is a very heart-centered way to give gratitude to your business. They will, like, the business will receive that. And it just kind of keeps everything in this like higher vibration.
Absolutely, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that popped into my head. Now it's gone. Now it's gone. That happens a lot. Even with like because even like the cleansing, like if you have employees, like all of this is like, if you have employees working for your business, that's energy that is feeding into it, right? Anybody even thinking about your business, or like there's no walls with any of it. So let's just say somebody had a bad experience and they weren't in your physical space. They were like, gosh, they go onto social media, you've seen those posts where you're like, there's this local business and blah blah blah,
like
blah,
the bad
like,
Google review or whatever.
Yeah, that's
the
like
1 star.
1 star, or just the rant on that mom's group, and like all of that energetically gets globbed into there. So that's where it's like having that cleansing it out and refreshing it. Like we did it for my house when I listed it, and it was like, okay, like we need to clear the energy out, because there's 4 people living here who all have different emotions all the time, and we're just leaving those imprints. Like that is inevitable. It's always going to happen. And so we like really went in and cleared it, so that when somebody walked into the house, they felt good. I know I've been in stores or places that, when you've been in there and you're like, ugh, this place just gives me the EBGBs. I just don't like it. I want to go. Right. I think
feel that
all
way.
Of us have had
feel that way in thrift stores. I can't do.
Oh yeah.
And I wish I could be a thrifter. And I see these people re-thrifting, like up. What do they call it? What did they call it? Upcycling thrifted items. And I'm like, that looks like so much fun. And so I have gone with Aubrey, and I was like, let's go thrifting today. And then I'm just like, I can't be in here.
It's so funny because like Tanner, so like I've never been, I definitely get uncomfortable with it. But Tanner, like we were in a thrift store, and he's just like not having it.
It's
not
the energy.
it.
And I feel bad because sometimes it makes me feel like I'm being snobby or too good for thrifting. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the perception that some people might take it as. Like I have two friends that like to thrift, and they won't even like they just they tried to take me, and I was so uncomfortable, and I think they took it like I was being rude. But it
Oh
was
yeah, where you're kind of like, ew, dirty.
It wasn't like that at all. It was just the energy within the space made me feel so like so uncomfortable and unsettled. And so thinking about the energy of Mexico and then the energy of Poets Cove, and now I'm getting to understand that physical spaces there's an energy in there, it'll make me unsettled.
Well, all those items
from all these different people.
Yes, yes. Well, and just having this conversation has made me realize, because like I kind of was annoyed with Tanner, who's my sensitive one to energy. I was really annoyed that because my mom found my mom gets used stuff for the kids all the time. You know, she's the one who goes in and does the thrifting because I have no patience for it. But now I'm realizing it's probably like, I'm like, oh, I can't be around all these silly energies. But we went into a thrift store and I'd found this great jacket for Tanner. And I said, hey, Tanner, can you try this on? And he's like, no, I don't want it. And I, you know, my instinct, my 3D mom, not the spiritual side, was kind of like, ugh. Wow. And he's like, I don't like the used. It smells. I said, hon, I wash it. But he was feeling uncomfortable and didn't know how to express it.
Yes.
And of course, you're just going to be like, I don't know why I don't like it. It stinks. And you're like, it doesn't stink.
It's like when somebody says to you, what's wrong? I have a headache. You don't have a fucking headache. You just don't tell me what's wrong. You don't actually know.
You don't actually know. Yeah. So now that's just kind of like pinged for me. I'm like, damn, that's what it is.
Yes.
I just thought he was being bougie.
Difficult. Bougie. All the empaths are bougie, okay?
All the empaths are bougie. It was being difficult and bougie.
We'll just change the name from empath to bougie. We're just trying to protect our energy, okay?
Being bougie.
We just didn't know.
Yeah, bougie and snotty. Oh, I love that. I love that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
who are you texting?
I'm sorry.
I thought you put it on Do Not Disturb.
It is. It's on Do Not Disturb. But then I had somebody buzz my front door, and that one I have set it that it breaks through my Do Not Disturb when somebody buzzes. And so I was trying to, could you tell I was talking?
Like 5 times.
I know, but when I was talking last in my head, I was like, I want to answer it, like let them in, right? Because it's probably a package. And but I didn't want to be talking because they would hear it over the intercom. So I was like trying to, and then you started talking. I was like, good. And then I like let them in. I'm like, my phone is just like hitting up. Like it doesn't make the noise. It doesn't go. I know. But I see
you're being distracted.
Yeah, because I keep getting like my mom's like sending me messages.
Put it face down.
Your car's unlocked, and I have got stuff in the car.
Okay, well, put it face down because there's nothing you can do about it right now.
See you later.
What did you order? Like, what's in the package? What's coming?
Oh, who freaking knows? I don't know which one it is because there's multiple. I always have stuff coming.
I know. Aubrey's birthday is on Friday, and I ordered her a puffer vest because that's what she wanted. This is her gift from Jace. Yeah. And then I looked to see, and it was like not quite out for delivery. It says that it should be delivered on Thursday or Friday. And then I see it's Canada Post that got it. And I'm like, no, because they're on strike. And
are they on strike now? Yes, or are they threatening to go on strike?
No, I'm pretty sure they're on strike. So now I'm like super peeved.
Why would Amazon love the time of the year?
Well, why would Amazon send it to Canada Post? Don't they know what's going on? And yes, wait. Canada Post obviously timed it to be at this time of year so that
they do that pressure. They've done this before. The
teachers will go on strike right before the school year starts so that
it's a smart tactic. Like, to be honest, I guess if it was me, I'd do the same. Why not go on strike like the busiest time of the year? Because they've done this before. We've gone through this before. And
it's an inconvenience for us, obviously, but I support whatever they need.
I support whatever anybody needs.
You need more money? Take it. It's
like,
expensive.
I go for standing up for your rights. Absolutely. But I'm also like, this is annoying. So
I need Aubrey's puffer jacket. Can I come pick it up?
Can I come? Oh my gosh, that's like our third world. Like these are like our problems.
I know.
And it's true though. Like
I know.
my Amazon arrived in a week, not 2 days, and I'm not happy about it.
Oh my God.
I know. So we'll see.
Privileged problems.
Privileged
problems. I can handle it. Not a big deal.
I know.
I'll just print out a picture,
print out a picture and wrap that. Oh, that's so annoying. That's such a letdown. Right?
But it's coming.
Well,
it's not my fault.
You know what? Yeah, I know. I'm like, actually, side note, now that we're going off on this tangent, you notice how the older your kids get, the less things they want and the more like money or gift cards or stuff.
Turning into clothing.
Holy shit, man. But the thing is, so like I was asking them what they wanted. And of course, my teenager, Carter, he's like, money.
Yep.
Gift cards. And I'm like, cool. But you're not going to have fun at Christmas opening.
You can like wrap a dollar bill in a box.
That's what I will do. Yeah, I did that for his birthday.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
still wrap money.
$5 bills. And because we gave him like $300 or something like that. I don't remember. And I got them all in fives and then put it in a box, right, to make it fun. But like when it's gift after gift after gift.
Wait, you know what would be fun? I know what you mean, but I just had an idea. You should buy a money gun and put all the fives in that.
My God.
Yeah, so he can like shoot all the fives out at Christmas.
Oh, he would freaking love it.
I know, that would be fun.
He thinks it's so fun.
Just rewrap the money gun every year.
Money gun. I did find, this is for anybody that is looking for Christmas ideas. I did find there's this really, maybe it's old. I don't know. Maybe it's not a new thing and I've just come across it. So don't make fun of me. So if you're giving money to somebody, there is this like cute, what is it? You can hang it on the tree and it's like an ornament, but then there's like this spot where you roll up the money and you can see it, it's clear. And so either you can put like, I don't know, you can kind of put like a $1 bill, which that's not in Canada because that's a loony. But you can put the smallest one on the outside type of thing. And so instead of just like an envelope with money in it, it's like this cute little, like it looks like packaging for a chapstick.
Oh,
did you know how like the chapstick is? So it's just like this like box thing.
Oh, okay.
And then you've got the chapstick like sitting in the box thing, in the clear thing. Yes. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. So it comes and it has like the clear tape at the back. And so you roll your money up, you put it in and then you seal it in. And then it just like hangs there as an ornament or type of thing. Like just a cute.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, that's so cute.
That'd be a good little stocking stuffer too.
It's great stocking stuff. Yeah. It's just something a little bit different because it's like sealed away in the plastic. So, okay, back to regular programming.
Wait,
those are our ads. If we had ads, those were our ads.
Well, I wanted to, because we're talking about gifts. Let me just add one
more. We're waiting for another ad. Carry on.
Okay, so I know a certain young lady who just got her period for the first time.
Oh,
and so exciting!
It's so exciting.
Somebody close to me, but I don't want to say who.
Is it really exciting to get your period?
For me, it is. But I'm trying to make it.
It is.
So I'm trying to make it. Like as we go through this journey and stuff, we get really a lot more connected to ourselves. And part of that is really starting to understand your divine feminine and the power that you hold as a woman and connecting to your womb space. And then taking that even further, understanding your cycle, right?
Yeah.
So the cycle and the moods and even connecting that to the moon and all that sort of stuff. So when this happened, I really wanted to make it a special event, not something that should be not talked about or shamed of or anything like that.
Not. So don't be embarrassed of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to shift the narrative around your period with this certain person. So I was going to put together a like a period, like a first period, like gift package, and I was going to put in
love that.
Like period underwear and pads and like Motrin and like
chocolate.
A heating pad, chocolate, like maybe like a new water bottle, like something like that, just like something to commemorate and to
Diva cup.
yeah, something, anything, right? Like maybe not for her, but we're not there yet.
I haven't even used one of those. I don't even
No,
know how.
but
That's
just like
creepy.
certain things that as a woman that you, and then talking about, these are the things that you might use in your menstrual phase, like when you're bleeding, and then you go into your luteal phase, and you might
Okay,
feel
like
like
don't
all that sort
don't
of stuff.
don't creep her out. Like remember, sometimes too much information is like, that when you'd
That will
ask your
be
dad a
trickled.
question. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. When you ask dad a question and then he goes on and you're like, gosh, dang it,
Don't
I
answer.
just wanted the answer. Now it's like, so I could just imagine it being like, Mom, I got my period. You're like, what?
Did
And then
you
it's just like,
know?
and you're like,
All this
God,
stuff to
I'm sorry I
share.
asked.
Yeah. No, that will all be shared, like trickled
Good.
throughout.
Yeah, you got to be cool about it. Got to
Oh
be
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
chill. But
Work,
anyways.
chill. I'm chill. Okay, back to the last part of this conversation. I would say is protecting your business.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you protect your business? Who the heck is coming? Does that mean like security alarms and stuff like that?
Well, you can do that physically if you need
Yeah,
to.
no, we're talking energetically.
Yeah.
What does that look like and why?
Well, we talk about protecting our own energy with like a shield of protection, a bubble protection. So cleansing your energy and then protecting it so that when you're out and about, you're not infiltrated with other people's emotions and energies and all that sort of stuff. It's the same idea for your business.
Yeah.
So placing a bubble of white light over your business after you've cleansed specifically, and just in asking it to be protected and making sure it's in alignment and all that sort of stuff. But even you can take that even a step further. And we talked about shifting energy a little bit. So when you learn how to read energy, how to receive messages from energy, you begin to understand it in a specific type of way. Like it's a fun way to to see life, really. But you can start shifting it and working with the energy, right? And
Yeah.
I've talked in the past about how I've gone forward and created a path of ease. So when Jace broke his collarbone, we went into the hospital and I was like, God, a 9-hour wait. And it took us like 2 hours because I went in and I cleared the path. So
Yeah.
you can do the same sort of thing when you're working with the energy of your business by trying to align it with a certain type of clientele that you're trying to call in, or even a certain type of employee or contractor. If you're trying to, if you're struggling with your sacral chakra in the business and you really struggle with that creative, Instagram type of stuff, and you want to hire somebody to support that for you, trying to work with the energy of your business to call in the right person for that. So there's so many things that you can do.
And even if you're trying to make a decision, there's
Mm-hmm.
been times that you and I have been trying to make a decision and not sure which way to go. Do we let this service go? Do we keep it? And we've thrown that out to spirit, being like, okay, spirit, if this is something that we're meant to let go, then you need to give us a sign, give us and we've had this where either we're meant to keep it, and all of a sudden, like within hours of stating that, we've had somebody book what we thought we were going to get rid of because it wasn't really selling or whatever it was, and all of a sudden we've had like one or two back to back, and you're like, okay, we get it, spirit. They're like, no, you need to keep it, and you're like, okay. Or things of releasing where then all of a sudden we kind of put it out there going, we're not sure, spirit just, and then all of a sudden we get where it's like either someone cancels or some type of sign, or if we're calling in a specific type of business coach, in the sense of like somebody who does what we do but does like business coach or whatever. We've put things out there to be like, if this is an alignment, then bring it to us. Like, so we're not sitting there searching, because we're just like, universe, it's what we want. Place it out there. If it's meant to be, you'll bring it to our awareness. Right. And so it's kind of nice releasing and being able to surrender that way.
Yeah.
Like it
We did
goes into
that.
flow.
We did that at recently. And remember, we were like, we really want this person, this person, this person, and this person for podcast guests. And then we were at that one vendor event, and we like got all of them.
Oh, yeah,
We connected with every one of them.
Yeah, I remember. What did you say? I thought you said it like when we were at the event.
Yeah.
And you had actually said, "Oh my God, like it'd be so cool to have blah blah." And within an hour,
that person came around.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you like came back to the booth. I don't know where you were, shopping or something. And I was like, "Guess what?" And I'm like, "You won't believe this." It's like so crazy.
I know.
So it's amazing. So absolutely shifting, and then just touching on back to the protection. In that sense, like energy is energy. And, sometimes when jealous, like, so, your businesses are always in competition with different businesses. Yeah. It's just is what it is. And sometimes like, again, maybe somebody's not doing something physically to harm your business, but jealousy and when money's involved, people can do crazy things. And so energetically, like people can set out intentions. So just like we set out the intention to universe to be like, hey, we want these different podcast guests, and they presented it to us. Sometimes energetically intentions can be sent out towards you or your business or whatever. And you and I have actually felt that's happened. Not very often, but it has happened. And we've gone in, or we're approaching going into something that we feel it. And then we're like, okay, we need to protect our business. We need to put a protection, because jealousy is it's just a thing. We're all human. And depending on where we're at in our own individual healing, that comes up. Doesn't make that person a bad person. That's just part of their journey and part of their lessons. But we have the ability to be able to, like, we've empowered ourselves to be able to be like, okay, well, we're just going to do an extra little protection so it doesn't absorb those intentions. Right. Yeah. So
fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah. You can even like, so obviously reading the energy of your business, but obviously for like using tools, oracle cards are so fun to use for your business when you're trying to like receive guidance and insight.
We've done that.
Yes. And pendulums, all this fun stuff. So let's just mold the worlds together.
Like, absolutely. We were, there was this decision you and I are trying to make. Have you pulled cards on that yet?
No, let's do that right after this.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like right now. I was like, no, not right now.
Right after.
We're like so vulnerable and live.
And live.
All right. So, so if you're kind of like, dude, I own a business and I would really like to learn how to read energy and do that. We have a bunch of self-paced courses online that you can check out. We, currently do teach containers on how to read energy, the chakras, all those things. So that comes around different times of the year when we start those. So definitely you can check that out. And even like, booking readings with us. We do offer readings. I think that's something we forget to mention sometimes, because we've definitely had people that are like, what? You guys do readings? And it's, yeah, we do. We do readings and we do healings and, all of the things. So you can check out our Instagram or our website at Soulstar Energy Collective to see all the things.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.